Hello and welcome to another episode of Goa 365's Face to Face. Now, as elections are almost on our doorstep, I am talking to somebody whom I respect, who's part of ADR, who's been very proactive, that group, and Bhaskar Bab has been very proactive in that group, giving us information, the voters information, important information. Bhaskar Bab, welcome to our show. Now,
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Glenn Bab.
Bhaskar Bab, ADR has been in the forefront of this for a long time. You all went to court, you all forced the political parties, the candidates to, due diligence and give information to voters to see that the voter is better informed. So this time also, maybe it has been a slight twist, so as to say, because this time I think we can start with some information that we have, that you have gathered on the amount of people who have been jumping from X to Y to sometimes back from Y to X and by Z, all that. So if we could start with that, then we could go to the normal, data about criminal and education and all that. Bhaskar Bab, yes, please, stage is yours.
Mercifully, Glenn, we have 26 alphabets to shift from one place to another.
Yes, absolutely.
But on a serious note, Glenn, this time it has been much more, perhaps because of the sheer number of parties which have entered into the fray. Because every political party today is looking for an opportunity of entering into a state. Now, this time we have two major, not major really, basically the strong state parties like, AAP or TMC, who have got into Goa, not really for the first time, because AAP was there last time, and TMC also was there in 2014 in Lok Sabha elections, if you remember, and Churchill was their candidate for South Goa. But this time they have entered into the assembly. And since there are more, which means there are more opportunities available to the candidates to get a seat, because many aspirants, whether they were MLAs or whether they were expecting to get a ticket, so the two major parties were basically, Congress and BJP, and of course, Goa Forward and the MGP were also contesting 3, 4, 5 seats, but not more. So major chunk was here. आणि जेन्ना तांकां ते सीट म्हणजे कॅन्डिडेचर दिवपाक तयार नासता त्यो पार्टी, दे ऑटोमॅटिकली शिफ्ट टू न्यू एव्हेन्यूज. बिकॉज एवरीवन वॉन्ट्स टू कॉन्टेस्ट, कित्याक नाजाल्यार आनी 5 वर्सां रावचो पडलो. 5 वर्सान कितें जाता म्हणटा तें कळना. सो जस्ट ट्राय टू जम्प, अशें जालां तें. सो आय एम नॉट रियली सरप्रायज्ड, ग्लेन, that so many people have changed the party. And there are different types of candidates, basically. In Goa also, there are some who are sure shot of winning, so tani change करunk ना. थोडे आसा ते बॉर्डरीचेर आसात, but on their own steam they can't win, so they want to hold on to some party, get that tag, so that their chances get enhanced.
Approximately figures, in general figures, can you tell us about this, what and who have been jumping? Do you have those figures, percentage wise?
No, I don't have really party wise, but I can tell you from 2017 till now.
Okay.
Actually, there have been 27 MLAs who have shifted.
27 out.
Yes, 27 out of 40. म्हणजे कशें, if you really see, तीग जाण पयलीं चेंज केल्ले पडटानी, म्हणजे sometimes in 17 or 18 maybe, Vishwajit Rane, Dayanand Sopte and Subhash Shirodkar, who resigned from Congress and joined BJP, contested from BJP, won the election. So ते तीग जाण जाले, आनी ताच्या मागीर हे बाकीचे सगळे चेंज जायत आसात. So, but I'm not really surprised, because हे केन्ना दिसलें की 2022 खूबशे मूव जातले म्हणून. एक म्हणजे when the new parties came in. The other is when those 12 people joined and force and block into BJP. म्हणजे 10 जाण काँग्रेसचे आनी 2 जाण MGP जेन्ना जॉइन जाले, आनी तांकां एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ बी लागूंक ना, कित्याक it was 2/3 of the whole party. At that time itself, it looked very likely that many will have to move from this place. See, many of these people who joined from Congress to BJP were essentially from Salsette, where minority is very strong. I mean, let's admit that. I mean, we should not be talking in terms of majority, minority with a shame. When it comes to Goa election, or for that matter, any other election, these things do play a part. So, obviously there was crisis of confidence amongst the MLAs vis-a-vis the voters in some cases. And hence they had to, look for different avenues. So that's how we have seen this kind of changes from one party to other, back, this thing, all sorts of, sort of lack of confidence.
Okay, now, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. Now, I agree with you. Now, you are aware of Reginald Lawrence of the Congress, right? You must be having his figures also by how much he's won last time and all that. But why did he change?
Sorry, I didn't get you because there was some disturbance.
Reginald Lorenzo, Kurtori MLA.
Oi.
Yeah, now I'm sure you have his figures. Okay, he won very comfortably. Now then he jumped to TMC, and then again he jumped to. Now he's independent. So what is the scene?
Yeah, I know. See, Alex Reginald is one person who had won comfortably. I mean, there was no this thing about it. What happens is it is not only about winning with a clean margin or a big margin. It's also about what kind of prospects you have in the party, even if the party comes to power. Party जर पावरांत आयली ना जाय जाल्यार तो प्रश्नच ना. जेन्ना पार्टी जर पावरांत सुद्दां आयली बाबा ताजें स्टँडींग vis-a-vis the leadership in Goa of that party also has a bearing on his future. And it is that thing which must have come to play in case of Reginald, अशें म्हाका दिसता as an analyst of this situation. Beyond that, I should not be speaking because I'm also sort of tied up with ADR. So I should not be talking about individual parties, individual candidates. But I'm just removing my robe of ADR and trying to be a Goan and then talk to you on this matter.
No, but then okay, fine. You join TMC, then you come back, you wanting to join or whatever standings. The logic escapes me. Now, okay, we are all analysts, but you are much senior to me. So I just was trying to understand what is the logic behind this.
I'll tell you. There's only one thing, one word which can describe everything which has happened in Goa over the last 2 months, especially opportunism. Yeah, I mean, very simple. I mean, we may try to put it in different ways. Someone may say, we're going to udorgot करपाक सोदता, going to अस्मिताय दवरपाक सोदता. All those things are best thrown out of the window because that's not what it is. I mean, an intelligent Goan should understand this part for sure. जावुना, उदरगत जावुना, आणि ती अस्मिताय पळय आसा न्ही दवरपाची ती जावुना. Everyone looks at his vote bank, at his or her vote bank, and they play upon that. And why this kind of turmoil in Goa right now is, Goa is passing through a transition. And see, as much as we are talking about the candidates, we should be talking about the voters. What is the voter profile in Goa?
What is the voter profile in Goa? What is the voter profile? Yeah.
I'll take a minute of yours on this because it's something which is very different and not much talked about by Goan press or electronic media so far at least. Two issues for me. One is the Goan voters. Goan voters can be distinctly divided into two, according to me. One is the genuine Goans who have been there for last 25, 30, 40 years, and much more obviously during the liberation time also, the original Goans kind of thing, if that is the term to be used. But there are a lot of migrant people who have been there, and the migrants are those whose requirements are different, Glenn. They would vote for the person who can do their job. तांचे काम कितें आसता, तांचे रिक्वायरमेंट कितें आसता, टू स्टार्ट विथ रेशन कार्ड, मागीर आधार कार्ड, इलेक्ट्रिकल कनेक्शन, घराक लायसन्स, वॉटर कनेक्शन, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. आनी हें पळय तांकां कोण दिता, by making some token payment or whatever, तो पळय इजिली दिता तो तांचो माय बाप. तांकां तांची सगळे फॅमिलीची वोट्स पडटली. नाव original Goanaचे ideology, original Goanaचे can be different. Someone talks about values, someone talks about something else, someone talks about Asmita, someone talks about Udargut. And those Goans may vote based on that.
What are the percentages,
But then
rough percentages according to what you say now about this breakup?
35% are migrants for sure.
35% voting population.
Voting population, because they have got their voting card without with just no one knowing whether they have a voting card in their state also,
But
original
now,
state.
now it
The
will, that
point
will
they are
change.
closing,
Now that will change with Aadhaar card linking and all.
may happen in future, but ह्या केपी ना न्ही तशें.
Hmm.
This time around, it is straight away the voting कार्डाचेर तुवें वचपाचें आनी हें करपाचें. So, see, on one side there is no booth capturing, there is no impersonation, everything is fine. But what happens to those whose priorities are different? So, most of, see, I'll explain to you. If you analyze the urban seats of Goa, assembly seats, urban म्हणजे खंयचे Panaji and around, Madgaon and around, Vasco, Sakwade, that industrial area.
Yeah.
If you look at those kind of places, there's a clear vote bank of migrants. Okay, some migrant voters could be in Shimbel, some can be in Motidongor, but they are there, and it's a sizable population, 3, 4, 5,000 votes. Now imagine a situation where you have a number of voters as 25,000 in a constituency. Okay, तातूंतले 80% voting जाले म्हणतो. 80% is a fairly high figure. 80% जाले म्हणतो. ते 25,000तले 80% म्हणजे 20,000 जाले. म्हणजे 20,000 जर तुजे कडेन 6, 7, 8,000 जर हे आसत न्ही वोट बँक, जाल्यार यू आर अ क्लीन विनर. कित्याक ह्या फावटी इट विल बी मिनिमम 4 कॉर्नर्ड कॉन्टेस्ट.
Yeah, minimum, correct.
Opposition ह्या बराबर येवंक ना. There's a vertical divide between, say, Congress and Goa Forward and on one side, MGP and TMC, whatever it means, is the another side. आणि तांचे भितरच कन्फ्युजन आसा सद्याक. ओके, आनीक आप म्हणटा ते इंडिपेंडेंटली ते चलतात ह्या संवसारांत, and they have even declared a chief ministerial candidate.
So what do you think?
Not really likely to form an alliance. अशें दिसता.
Winning percentage, like what? Suppose in the minimum 4 cornered contest, what would be a winning percentage?
Winning percentage could be just 30%.
30%.
Yeah, because there is a vertical this thing. See, only if opposition was united, but it never happened because for whatever reasons. I mean, apparently there have been proposals from TMC to Congress, Congress to TMC, but those things have not materialized. And so long as those things don't materialize, everyone will try to this thing, and in the process, the things will be a little different.
Bhaskar Bab, let us go into a short commercial break. I will see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Keep watching Goa 365. Welcome back. Yeah, Bhaskar Bab, as you were saying, please continue.
Yeah, sure. So, Glenn, it's like this. Last time around, if you remember, BJP had 32.5% votes. Although they got 13 seats, 32.5.
More than Congress.
Congress had less. Congress had less, 28.7 or something. There was a difference of almost about 4+%. Still, they ended up getting 17 seats. That they could not form a government is a different story and is part of the folklore.
Yes.
But yeah,
How is this? How is this? How is this? How is this?
No, suppose today, instead of 32.5, suppose even if BJP gets a 30% or something. I am just hypothetical and I should not talk about this basically because I am an ADR guy. But what happens is the balance 70%, if it gets divided into 3 or 4 parties, then, ideally if they were together, the things could have been much different is what I feel.
It never happens.
But the details.
But never happens, so as to say, no, because even I don't know if you go through what we have analyzed across India, across wherever, the Mahabandhans never work. The pre-poll Mahabandhans, I don't recollect, it is very rare, but mostly they don't work. It is 1 or 2 alliances, then possibly they could work. Okay.
It
Okay.
just happened once in parliamentary election post-emergency,
Janta.
1977.
Janta.
That was just once, where
That is
everyone
just
came
once.
together on a common platform.
Very rare. Other
Under,
ones like
under Jayaprakash Narayan, but
Yeah.
after that it has not happened.
nothing. Like you talk about UP last time, Mahagathbandhan or Bihar, or none of that has generally worked. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Bhaskar Bab, okay, moving on. Now, as far as ADR is concerned, it does a lot of study on this criminal and criminal backgrounds. So could you give us some details on this that we could discuss?
Yeah, see, if you look at the criminality in Goa, and that should be a matter of serious concern to all Goan voters and the right-minded people, including press, electronic media, and should be talking in a big time on this kind of issues, because what has been happening is in the process of trying to sort of have more parties, more this thing, and we talk about a candidate, we talk about individual, but the larger issues are not really addressed, is what I feel right now. The larger issue is, if you look at 2007, till 2007, Goa did not have a single MLA with serious crimes. Serious crimes म्हणजे कितें, rape, murder, assault, loss to exchequer, म्हणजे कितें smuggling केलें, नाजाल्यार आनी कितें भानगडी केल्यो, where you ensure that there is a loss to the government, central government or state government, and then attack on government officers or government offices or police stations or some such thing. These come under the category of serious crimes. Now till 2007 कोण नाशिल्लो. 2012 दोग जाण, 2 out of 40 was 5%. पूण the last आता ही असेंब्ली पळय आशिल्ली तातूंत 9 जाण सिरियस क्रिमिनल्स आशिल्ले.
2017.
हा, सो 9 जाण म्हणजे कितले जाले? 27%? Yes, 27%.
Almost. Yeah,
if they are supposed to be true representative of Goans, खंयचे हातून मारे true representatives आसूंक जाय न्ही असेंब्लींत म्हणटा पार्लमेंटान, कित्याक सगळे गोंयकार थंय वचूंक शकनात हें करपाक, डिस्कशन करपाक, म्हणून ते representative. So they should be true representative of the population. आतां 27% if they are serious criminals, जाल्यार 27% गोंयकार serious criminal वाले आसात, गोंयकार, rest of Goa? No,
I don't think 27% serious criminals, even in like states like say UP, Bihar, even that is not so high, or Delhi or whatever.
Crimes is a very major this thing. आणि जालां कितें जाणां मरे, सी ही एक गोष्ट जाली. दुसरे सी खूब जाण आतां एज्युकेटेड लोक सुद्दां तातूंत कितें आहा रे, तो आमचीं कामां करता पळयता. The defense which is given to the MLAs is this: आमची कामां करता. आतां आमची कामां करता म्हणजे कितें? He is not really doing something by paying from his own pocket. The normal thing which you should have a right to get, those are delayed or like you are not given. आणि मागीर तुवें ताजे म्हऱ्यांत वचून पांय पडपाचें आनी तें करून घेवपाचें, so that you become his permanent this thing. ally. हें एक गोंयांत खूब हें आसा. So that is becoming a big issue. So and getting government jobs. एक खेपी एकट्या फॅमिलींत कोणाक गव्हर्मेंट जॉब मेळत सगळीं उठता ताका. So हें अशें चल्लां पळय. So I think Goans have to do a lot of self-introspection, Glenn, on this matter, because
Bhaskar Bab, it is not only on this Kamakutta, not only on Kamakutta, also lots of we feel that lots of Goan this it's based on community, it is based on which strata of society you come from. Lots of these things people don't go to see in 5 years what the person has done. Nobody goes to see that what has been, what people in that last 1 month or last 15 days, what is the connection, what is this, a big part is played by that. Now Kamakutta is somebody approachable, is somebody like that 35% of the population, okay, I would grant that 50% of the 35, granted. Whatever the balance, 65-70% of the people, it is not come, they don't need the MLA to do their work.
गोंयकाराचो outlook change जाला, Glenn. I tell you why this deterioration. See, there is deterioration in every aspect. I mean, 3 aspect आमी consider करतात in our affidavit, okay, as ADR. एक म्हणजे criminality, दुसरे asset liability, तिसरे education. So the education पळोवशी पयलीं 2007 22 ग्रॅज्युएट आशिल्ले, 22 out of 40 म्हणजे 55%. 2012 उणे जाले, 22चे 20 जाले, 50%. 2017 20चे 17 जाले, म्हणजे 43% आहे ग्रॅज्युएट्स. म्हणून हांवें कितें केलें, गुगलान वचून पळयलें, अरे म्हणजे कितें जालां, इतले ग्रॅज्युएट कित्याक ना, कॉलेजी बी तितल्यो ना काय. गुगलान पळयल्यात इन 2022 देर आर 64 कॉलेजीस इन गोवा गिविंग ग्रॅज्युएशन. 64 म्हळ्यार कितल्यो जाल्यो? ऑन एन एवरेज 12 तालुका म्हणजे एटलीस्ट ऑन एन एवरेज 5 एज्युकेशनल इन्स्टिट्यूट्स विच गिव ग्रॅज्युएशन. आनी BA BCom बी म्हणटा तें आतां ऑलमोस्ट फ्री आसात अप टू दॅट ग्रॅज्युएशन लेवल. मागीर तूं वचूंकूच ना कॉलेजीक आनी स्कुलाक जाल्यार कितले 8वी बी पास जाल्ले आसात रे आमचे. 8वी म्हणटा तुका अशें सर्टिफिकेट मेळटा. तुवें इस्कॉलाक वचपाची गरजूच ना. आनी अशें आमचे 7 काय 8 जाण आसात.
So are you saying that today the value of education among Goans has become zero, or education does not play any part in Goan life, in Goan society, in Goan ethos, in Goan Ashmita, whatever?
I'll tell you. See,
No, is it not? You feel?
1963-64. First assembly of 1963-64. There were 28 Goan MLAs. Ekto Damancho and Ekto Diwacho ashillo. You remember that? Now,
Yes.
तातूंत 4 जाण दोतोर, 4 जाण काय कितें आदवोगाद, आनीक 5 जाण टिचर, 6 जाण 5 काय 6 जाण फ्रीडम फायटर्स. आनी हे खंयचे कितल्यो कॉलेजी आशिल्ल्यो गोंयांत तेन्ना? फक्त
दोन,
इस्कॉल
तीन.
मॅथ एक म्हणजे गोवा मेडिकल कॉलेज आनी एक लिसेव आशिल्लो. आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 63-64.
People used to go to Dharwad and all that to study. I know.
थंय वचून शिकताले मरे. आनी आतां 64 कॉलेजीस आसून 17 जाण आमचे ग्रॅज्युएट, बाकीचे सगळे हे. आनी जाता कितें? सी वाय आय एम सेयिंग, आय एम नॉट एवर्स टू एनीथिंग, पूण एज्युकेशन आसत कितें जाता तें सांग तुका. इफ यू हॅव गॉन टू स्कूल एंड कॉलेजीस, वॉट इज द डिफरन्स? यू हॅव गेट इन टू द हॅबीट ऑफ लिसनिंग. लिसनिंग म्हणजे कितें? कॉलेज स्कुलान गेलो, टिचरीक यू लिसन. कॉलेजीन गेलो, यू लिसन टू द प्रोफेसर्स एंड टीचर्स. नाव लिसनिंग इज अ गुड हॅबीट टू हॅव, बिकॉज इवन फॉर अ MLA, he should listen to what others are talking. He should come back to his constituency and listen to the people and their grievances. Listening is important, but what happens even in assembly, they listen to argue, not listen to understand.
That is a big
Please
difference.
understand.
That is a big thing. Listen to argue and not listen to understand.
आनी
Correct.
जे पळय कॉलेजीक बी वचूना पळय आनी दे हॅव बिकम बीग टायम मिनिस्टर्स एंड ऑल, तांकां कितें दिसता आय एम सक्सेसफूल बिकॉज हांव सांगता तें खरें. I am the boss of the situation. Yeah, म्हाका कितें सांगतले. So that approach is not a very healthy approach for Goa. 63-64 अशें नाशिल्लें. आतां अशें आहा. When it comes to money, the whole thing is different. Criminality is more now. Education is gone down. You look at the money. Money मरे, see, I have not considered crorepati. 1 crore म्हणजे आज तुका even if you have 3-bedroom apartment in Panjim, it becomes a 1 crore. So
Yes.
let's not consider 1 crore. 5 crores, 10 crores. Is it big figure? Certainly yes. Even today, it's a big figure. आता 5 crores वाले कितले आते खबर आहे तुका? Out of 40, 28. Which is 70%. 70% have shown their wealth as 5 crores and above.
And they dakhwaytat hai. It is at God knows whatever at levels that they had bought the
16
property.
out of 40 have shown more than 10 crores.
Wow.
16 out of 40 is 40%. आता 40% गोंयकारांकडे 10 crores plus आहात. So can they be considered as true representatives?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know, because see, according to what we've been taught, we've seen, and with this, the politicians are a reflection of society. So if society is like this, that means the politicians are obviously we are the ones. The politicians don't fall from heaven. We vote for them, no? So that means what we see, our representatives, we are sending to assembly. We want this type of people. That's why so then we cannot grumble afterwards, no? Don't you think?
Not at all, not at all. I'll tell you what is the difference between the voters in 60s and voters today in Goa. 60 years down the line. In 60s, Mare, if you see, they were, doing every activity in a selfless way in the interest of Goa. Whether you look at opinion poll, whether you look at Goa statehood, you look at Konkani language, movement, all these movements obviously were selfless. लोकांनी आपल्या पोटा खातीर हें करूं ना तें. लोकांनी केलां गोंयची तिडक, पोटतिडक, आनी तें घेवन ओपिनियन पोल बी म्हण आशिल्लो पळय, तें तेन्ना तशें आशिल्लें. गोंयचो उदरगत आनी गोंयची अस्मिताय राखून दवरपाची. टुडे एवरी वन इज सेल्फीश, एवरी वोटर इज सेल्फीश. वी वोट ओनली बेस्ड ऑन म्हजें काम कोण करतलो. वी आर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट गोवा, वी आर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट एनीथिंग एल्स. अशें म्हाका दिसता. These
I don't know.
are the clear observations. We may not like it. Goans may not like it, but this is the harsh reality of life.
Fair enough,
Today.
fair enough, fair enough. But I guess it was there earlier also, but it was no blatant. Probably there were more people who were concerned about Goa and less who were concerned about themselves. Today, probably that percentage is shifting to the other way around. But ultimately, whether it is a person who is not originally from Goa, whether it is a person original, they have to live in Goa. So if Goa is a mess, Goa law and order is bad, Goa has no water, everybody is going to suffer in the same way. It's not that just because you're not originally from here, you're not going to suffer. If you're originally from, say, Maharashtra, or if you're from Karnataka or from Delhi, if you're in Goa, you're going to suffer. Now whether you're a Goan original or bio, so if our governance is bad, if the people whom we elect are bad, everybody is going to suffer, and that whatever that little bit of daan which you get on the election day, is that going to help for 5 years? I don't know. That Bhaskar, what do you feel? What I said,
no, I have a little different take on this, Glenn Bob. I'll tell you what.
Sir.
The difference between the original Goan voters, or those who have been in Goa for the last 40 years or something, that means they have built their house there, they have their own property, land, and this thing. Yes, their approach could be different. That they could be interested in welfare of Goa to an extent. So that, see, you look at. I'll come to that later maybe. But those who have just were migrant laborers or workers and this thing, tanka diswado, tanka jevonta, tanka the politics section podun wachuna, and irrespective of who comes to power, which party comes to power, they are not bothered. They are tanka daily काम कोण तांगेली income घेवपाची आणि गांवां वचून मागीर एक धाकटेंशें घर बांदपाचें. Because their attachment would be more towards Goa, more towards their own place than this thing. As much as how Goans are, in Gulf countries. They cannot be having a house there, or they cannot be this thing. So you can't have attachment. Goans can't have attachment to Gulf countries. Okay, so long as you work, you are fine there. But you try to have your own house or small property in Goa, because you want to come back, because that's your attachment.
So I guess, I don't know, that means it is more onus on people who have Goan origin to take care of Goa. If not, I don't know where we are going to go. Probably a lot of it is already.
Educate rest of Goans.
Yes,
and talk about the importance of voting for the right candidates.
Yes, Bhaskar Bab. Thank you very much. We shall be in touch in further episodes. Thank you very much for coming on our show.
Sure, thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you, and keep watching Goa 365.